March 31st, 2014, and I am on C.K. Quarterman's website once again, the author of Fallen Angels, Giants, UFO Encounters, and the New World Order. And here's a subject that is considered taboo by many Christians who don't really study enough to know about these things, or they're not into this subject, so they don't look into it. It's a very biblical subject, but like I said, it's frowned upon by many Christians because of their own lack of knowledge. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't really study the Bible. They read it, they might meditate on some verses, but they don't really study it. But the title of it is Stargates, Portals, Orbs, and Fallen Angels. Now, of course, I'll have people write to me and say, well, this isn't in the Bible. Yes, it is. It's very biblical. Maybe every single detail, that we have to wonder about or be curious about, that will be a mystery to us, is not in the Bible. But think about the things in your life that aren't in the Bible. Does that mean they're not real? The shoes you put on aren't in the Bible. Does that mean your shoes are not real? So I'm just trying to make a point here. There's many real things. The spiritual world is very real. We cannot deny the spiritual realms. That is in the Bible. Ephesians chapter 6, 10 through 20. Thoroughly discusses the war that's going on in the heavenlies between the forces of demonic entities and godly heavenly angels. We're always waging war against demonic spirits as long as we are in a body of flesh. So again, these things are very real. We can't discount them. The demons have to somehow, get into our realms. Well, how do they do that? How do bad angels get in to the realm in which we are living? Again, this is called Stargates, Portals, Orbs, and Fallen Angels. He writes, in some witchcraft and Wiccan systems, the Watchers are beings who guard portals that link worlds together. Now we know that the Watchers are fallen angels. Within such systems, they are viewed as a spiritual race, a set of deities, or as spirits of the four elements. Some Italian witches believe that the Grigori Watchers are such an ancient race. The Watchers are known by many names, including the Old Ones and the Dread Lords of the outer spaces. We know them as the Dark Lords of Rahab, or the Fallen Angels. Sometimes they transverse into our realm through portals. There are many instances, often overlooked, however, in which you might expect to see if a portal is opened. It is at times an awesome display and others barely noticeable. Can you give examples of these openings? Yes, the most well-known is Jacob's Ladder, but the most awesome and colorful are when God chooses to make His presence known. Oh, I might add that there are many openings these days as time nears its end. There are many that have become deceived by these openings. They look for orbs, doorways, or even portals, wishing to contact beings from these other dimensions. Believe me when I say that not all beings in these dimensions are friendly. There are beings in these dimensions who have worked since Lucifer's fall to destroy humankind. These beings constantly transverse between dimensions, using these openings to deceive humanity. Sometimes they take the shape of metallic discs. They often mock God, appearing as messengers, the question always being, however, messengers of whom? In Psalms, there is a statement that God rode upon a cherub and flew. This is elaborated upon further as shown in this remarkable revelation. And here is a picture he has on the web page. I enlarged it a little bit, and that is a picture of a portal. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations also of the hills moved and were shaken. There went up a smoke out of God's nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him was dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. When dimensions are transversed, There are all sorts of physical manifestations, such as brightness, thick clouds, hailstones, thunder, lightnings, and sparks. This physical manifestation of thick clouds is the most common phenomenon surrounding God's appearance. 4 different times these thick clouds are mentioned in the scriptures: Job 22:14, 26:8, Psalm 18:11, and 18:12, in relation to the transversing of his throne into this dimension. In Joel 2:2 and Zephaniah 1:5, we see that thick clouds and darkness will surround God's throne on the day of judgment. These thick clouds are often followed by loud noises, such as one might expect to hear when an airplane or space shuttle breaks the sound barrier. Psalm 18:12, the Lord also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice. So as you can see so far, there are passages in the Bible that do describe these awesome and spiritual experiences. However, there are many people who are seeing the demonic ones and then they're falling prey to it, believing that it's okay or it's good and so forth when it's not. The above verse is a harrowing description of the noises that accompany God's throne. Sometimes these same noises will accompany portal events. They are not exclusive to the Lord's travel, but might also be heard when lesser beings transverse into our dimension. Upon Mount Sinai, many thunders, lightnings, fire, smoke, and a thick cloud descended as God's throne approached, so much so that the ground quaked and trembled. Moses reported, "So terrible was the sight that I exceedingly feared and quaked." This is a celebrated picture of God's throne opening as a portal event into our dimension. Enoch described traveling through a portal. "Behold, in that vision, clouds and a mist invited me. Agitated stars and flashes of lightning impelled and pressed me forwards, while winds in this vision assisted my flight, accelerating my progress." Enoch 14:9. In his book, Chariots of the Gods, Erich von Däniken based his entire hypothesis that the earth was visited by aliens upon a single passage in Ezekiel. Little did he know that this was merely a description of God's throne traveling from one realm to another. He went on to postulate that aliens gave the technologies of the ancient civilizations to them. He was right about the fact that ancient technologies were not inherent in man, but wrong upon the assumption of space-traveling aliens. Now here's something that we've all heard: the speed of light. Now, C.K. Quarterman points out that the speed of light prohibits matter from traveling beyond its limits into our realm. It's a sort of stop sign, if you will. The Creator built into the system automatic stops such as the speed of light. The reason? To stop the spread of sin and corruption. Humanity limited to below the speed of light would never gain entry to other worlds, though he might imagine such worlds in his mind. It seems ancient man knew this limitation, and in the building of the Tower of Babel may have been looking for a way to circumvent it. Portals and the attempt to create them is nothing new. Humanity has been about trying to create them since the Tower of Babel. However, the legitimizing the search of such is entirely new. Now emerging figures in Christendom are seeking to create openings. There seems to be a rush to see who can outdo whom. What once was understood to be forbidden is now fast becoming legitimized by left-wing Christians. What they expect to step out of these event horizons is an interesting question. Even now, some parts of the country have groups seeking to open portals, thinking only good beings can come through the opening. They might be surprised. Many are familiar with television's acclaimed Stargate series, where the stars transport through shimmering openings left behind by the old ones. This theme is further developed into good and bad ancients. There truly are old ones, but not ancients of the Stargate variety, and the real ones are all bad. When a portal ingress activities, I think he means ingresses, but when a portal ingresses activities, time can be suspended. Dimensional doorways are opened, as is often seen in UFO encounters that stop time. A vortex, cloud, or haze will appear. Many UFO sightings follow this pattern and are connected with these portal opening events. Portals are what they are, openings into this dimension from another dimension. The question is, for what purpose and what might one expect to come through? So we know that spiritual beings have to have a way to get into our realm. And we know that when we die, there has to be some sort of a way that our spirit goes from this realm to the realm of heaven or to the realm of hell. That is done through a spiritual portal, as C.K. Quarterman is pointing out here in his article. But the question is, why? What purpose does this serve? Lucifer has from the beginning attempted to keep humanity in the dark, destroying any true information. The Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, and the Book of Giants are examples of fallen angels destroying information about themselves. Our history is filled with the noble who have suffered at the hands of the fallen angels. There have been many who have given their lives to further mankind's knowledge of these events. Even now, in our time, many are giving their lives in an effort to inform mankind of the story. And that's a quote by C.K. Quarterman, I'm assuming, from his book. And here he's got a video I kind of browsed through, and I'll post it in my news article on Before It's News. Be sure and check out the About section below this video on my YouTube channel for the link to my article, which oftentimes contains more detailed information and more videos. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.